Hello and welcome to this week's installment of the Weekly Watch List. My name is Logan, and today all we're going to do is talk about the films hitting PVOD and streaming this week. As I'm sure a lot of you are aware, most films hit PVOD on Tuesdays, while sometimes some bigger films or even some smaller films will hit PVOD on Fridays. But most of our films here on this list hit PVOD today, so I'm recording this on the 21st. I originally wanted to do it on the 20th, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. I am trying to get the channel and equipment situated to attempt to do a live stream on the morning of Oscar nominations, which will be the 23rd of January. So I've really been putting a lot of energy into that and trying to get everything set up and organized. I've never done a live stream, so you can imagine that I am having quite the time trying to get everything situated. So I'm hoping to have everything ready to go. So this is coming to you a day late, but thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and dive in here. If I can hit the right button. There we go. On Tuesday, the 21st, which is today, if you're watching this the day or the evening it uploads, Blink Twice hits Prime Video. And if you haven't seen this film, it was a film that came out last year starring Channing Tatum. And, you know, for a directorial debut from Zoe Kravitz, I actually enjoyed this film more than I expected to. It isn't perfect by any means, but it is a very impressive directorial debut. Her vision is very clear in what she's trying to say, and the execution and the performances across the board are all good. The mystery is interesting. I enjoyed this film quite a bit, so if you haven't checked it out, it hits Prime Video, and I highly recommend it. Next up is a little film that hit most theaters this year, and I unfortunately didn't get around to seeing it in a theater, but The Damned hits PVOD for sale only. I'm going to try and check this film out. I don't know if I'm going to do a blind buy of the film, but I did hear it was pretty good. I wanted to get around to seeing it in a theater. It's just the first couple days of the year were pretty busy, and then it just kind of slipped through the cracks. But this is one I definitely plan on checking out. So if you watched The Damned in theaters, or if you're just really interested in it, that film is now available for you to purchase. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 also is now available on PVOD, and it feels like this film just hit theaters, and I guess it really did. We're just at a little over a month, I think, since that film hit theaters. It's doing pretty well at the box office week to week. I don't know if this should be on streaming already. I think that these windows, while we are certainly doing better than we were in, say, like 2021, 2022, these theatrical windows are getting a little bit better, and all of the studios are starting to recognize, particularly Disney, that these bigger films need to be left in theaters longer. So Sonic 3 hitting PVOD just this short amount of time after its theatrical release, I don't necessarily agree with. I think the film is still doing pretty well in theaters, and the market for families right now really is still just our holdover titles. Mufasa, Sonic, Moana 2 even, which just crossed $1 billion a couple days ago. So families are still going to the theaters because, in a lot of parts of the country, the weather is cold. January is a slow month, so there really is still a demand for these films, and I think Paramount should have kept this in theaters just a little bit longer, but I really enjoyed the film. I will be picking up a Blu-ray copy of it, so I won't be getting it on PVOD, but if you're looking for a family movie night here coming up, or just want to check the film out, it is now available for sale or rent. I believe the price is $25 to purchase or $20 to rent. So that is there, ready for you to watch. Also hitting PVOD not long after it hit theaters, and that is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I love this film. It is so good. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend, if you can, going to a theater and watching this, because experiencing this film on the big screen and the a growing sense of unease and claustrophobia really is heightened in a theater. I love this film. It was one of my favorites from last year. I'm very eager to watch it again. I've seen it twice in theaters now, but I do expect this one to actually do pretty well on PVOD. It's another film, though, that is doing surprisingly well at the box office. Looking at its worldwide title, or haul, this past weekend, I was surprised at just how much this film has made. Robert Eggers' highest-grossing film to date, I believe, and still going pretty strong. Audiences are still showing up for it. Again, this is a title that I don't think necessarily should be on PVOD, but I do expect it to do pretty well on all of those services. And last up for today, Gladiator 2 is now on Paramount+. Another film that made quite a bit of money at the box office, hit PVOD not long, I think about a month after its release, just in time for Christmas, and now finds itself on Paramount+. So if you didn't check out Gladiator 2 and you've been wanting to, that film is now available on the streaming service. As for Friday, January 24th, two films that I really enjoyed. The first one is The Wild Robot, is going to be available on Peacock. I would assume in the perfect amount of time, considering that the film will most likely be getting an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Feature. If it doesn't, I don't even know. That would be one of the biggest snubs in recent memory for the Oscars. So, if you haven't seen The Wild Robot and you're big into the awards, The Wild Robot will be on Peacock. I definitely will be rewatching this film. It was another one that was one of my favorites from last year. It is excellent. Can't wait to rewatch it. And I think for the people that have Peacock, I think this film will do pretty well on the streamer as well. Next up is a little film from late last year that really kind of snuck up on me, and it was one that I enjoyed quite a bit, and one that I can't wait to rewatch, and that is Your Monster. That film hits HBO Max, or I guess just now Max, still getting used to that one, on Friday. This was a fun film. It had a surprising amount of heart and a lot of humor. I found myself laughing quite a bit in this film. It's very dry humor, which is kind of right up my alley. And I ended up having a lot of fun with this movie. It was, if I had to make a list of some of the biggest surprises from last year, I do think that this film would be on that list. So if you haven't seen it, highly recommend that one when it hits Max on Friday. And then rounding out this installment of the weekly watch list, fittingly on Saturday, January 25th, the Sony film from last year, directed by Jason Reitman, Saturday Night, hits Netflix. Another film I enjoyed quite a bit. It's very frantic and chaotic, and that's one of the things that I really love about the film, and it feels intentionally done, given the whole situation surrounding the 90 minutes leading up to the first episode of SNL. So if you haven't seen Saturday Night and you're kind of waiting for it to hit streaming, here you go. That film will now be ready for you to watch on Saturday. So what films are you watching this week? Are any of these ones that you haven't seen that you've been wanting to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's going to be a busy week on this channel over the next few days between Oscar nominations, Severance Episode 2, going to do a review on Episodes 1 and 2 of Season 2, and movie reviews, just so much more to come. I will be covering the Oscars primarily on Thursday. I have a few videos planned along with that live stream, so I hope you stick around for those. And if you want, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more film content from me, that is what I do here. Again, a lot of films hitting this week. What are you watching? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I will see you in the next one.